Before anything begins, before your to-do list takes over, before your feet even touch the floor, before your thoughts start to spin toward the responsibilities that await you, have an opportunity, a sacred invitation to pause and acknowledge the one who holds your entire day in his hands. Every morning is a doorway. You can either step through it in your own strength, hoping the day goes well, or you can start with the one who makes all things well. Prayer is not a ritual to check off a list. It is the breath that aligns your heart with heaven before the noise of earth gets a chance to drown it out. When you pray first, you're not just talking to God, you are surrendering. You're saying, Lord, I don't want to move without you. You're laying your plans at his feet and asking him to reorder what needs to be reordered. You're inviting his peace into your pace, his wisdom into your decisions, his presence into your atmosphere, and that changes everything, because when you begin your day in communion with God, you shift the entire spiritual atmosphere of your morning. You move from reaction to intention, from rushing to resting, from uncertainty to clarity. It's no longer about what the day might throw at you, but about who walks through it with you. You don't have to carry the weight of it all. You don't have to solve every problem, anticipate every challenge, or figure out every step ahead. You have a shepherd, a father, a friend, and he is not far away. He is near. He longs to speak to you before the world gets a chance to. So often we give God the leftovers of our day, what's left of our time, our energy, our attention. But what if we reversed that? What if, before emails and phone calls and breakfast and pressure and distraction, we stopped and gave him our first? Not because we have to, but because he deserves it, because he is worthy, because the first light of day belongs to the one who is the light. When your day begins with prayer, something shifts in your soul. Your priorities fall into place. Your anxiety finds rest. Your perspective changes. Prayer doesn't remove every obstacle, but it places you in the presence of the one who overcomes. And that presence is more powerful than any problem. God doesn't need long, eloquent words. He's not impressed by performance. He responds to sincerity, to surrender, to stillness. Even a whisper can move heaven if it comes from a heart that's turned toward him. The moment you whisper, God, I need you, heaven leans in. The moment you say, I trust you, peace begins to flood in like light through an open window. This is the gift of the morning, a holy moment to reconnect, to realign, to remember who you are and who God is. In the stillness before the noise, you rediscover the strength that doesn't come from caffeine or control, but from Christ alone. Let today be different. Let today begin with prayer, not as a last resort, but as a first response. Not as an obligation, but as an offering. Wake up, not just to the light of the sun, but to the light of the Son who longs to walk with you through every moment ahead. Before you do anything else, pause, breathe, whisper his name, and remember, you were never meant to do today alone. There is something profoundly sacred about the quiet just after you say Amen. That stillness where heaven meets earth. That moment where your spirit has reached for God, and now you wait, you listen, and in that silence, he speaks, always with words, but with peace, with assurance, with the calm that can only come from knowing you are not alone. Starting your day with prayer is not about trying to get God to do what you want. It's about aligning your heart with what he already knows you need. It's about trading your panic for his peace, your striving for his sufficiency. It's about making space, because the world will fill every inch of your soul if you let it. But when you begin with God, You are building a sanctuary before the chaos even has a chance to enter. There's a reason Jesus often withdrew early in the morning to pray. Not just to model a routine, but to remind us that intimacy with the Father fuels everything else. That before the miracles, before the teachings, before the people, there was prayer, communion, dependence. We were never meant to pour from an empty spirit, and prayer is where we are filled. It's tempting to think we don't have time, that the kids need us, or the emails can't wait, or the deadlines are closing in. But what if the very thing you think you can't afford to pause for is the one thing you actually can't afford to skip? Time with God is never wasted. In fact, it multiplies. It recalibrates. It renews. When you give God your first, He often redeems the rest. He clears the mental fog. He sharpens your focus. He brings peace into rooms that haven't even seen your feet yet. The problems may still be there when you step into your schedule, but you will be different. And that difference will be your strength. Maybe today you're carrying more than anyone knows. Maybe you've smiled for others, but cried when no one was watching. Maybe your faith feels thin, stretched by worry and weariness. Let your first prayer not be perfect but honest. You don't need to come to God polished. You just need to come as you are, where you are. In the rawness of your reality, God isn't waiting for a better version of you to show up. He wants the version that woke up this morning wondering how it will all work out, because He's not afraid of your doubts. He's not disappointed by your struggle. In fact, it's in that very space between what you can't control and what He already sees that grace begins to move. You were never asked to do this day in your own strength. His mercies are new this morning, not recycled, not left over, new, tailored for what today holds, crafted specifically for the battles you can't yet see and the blessings you didn't know were coming. And you access them when you pause, when you pray, when you choose to begin with Him. There's an old lie that says prayer is weak, that doing nothing is passive. But prayer is the most powerful action you can take before taking action. Because in prayer, you are not doing nothing. You are entrusting everything. You are moving the heart of heaven toward the soil of your life. Prayer is where battles are won before they are fought, where strength is gained before the weight is lifted, where peace takes root before the storm arrives. And when you start, truly start, there you carry something into your day that the world cannot take from you. Don't wait until everything goes wrong to talk to God. Invite Him when everything is still. Come so, when the winds do rise, you won't be shaken. You'll already be anchored. Prayer isn't your backup plan. It's your foundation. Start this day, not with worry, but with worship. Not with stress, but with surrender. Not with striving, but with stillness. You are not just preparing for a day, you are preparing your soul to carry light into dark places. And it begins with a whispered invitation. God, come with me into this day. He will, and He always will. There is a quiet strength that comes to those who choose to begin with God. It's not loud. It doesn't boast, but it steadies you, grounds you, anchors you before the winds of the day pick up. And when others wonder how you keep going, how you remain calm, how you still have peace in the midst of pressure, this is the answer. You prayed first. You invited the presence of God before you opened your inbox. You whispered His name before the world demanded yours. You stood still in His presence before the whirlwind of responsibility swept you away. And in that sacred beginning, you were reminded that you are not defined by productivity, perfection, or public perception, but by a Father who sees you, knows you, and loves you as you are. Starting your day with prayer doesn't mean the day will be perfect, but it does mean you will be different as you walk through it. More centered, more aware, more sensitive to God's guidance in the details others overlook. You'll begin to notice His fingerprints in the ordinary. A word spoken at just the right time. A moment of stillness that catches you off guard. A sense of peace that interrupts your anxiety like sunlight breaking through a cloud. This is the fruit of beginning with Him. You don't just move through your day, you abide in it. You carry His presence into meetings, into car rides, into conversations. You respond instead of react. You love when it's not easy. You forgive before being asked. You show grace even when you're running low, not because you're trying to be holy, but because you've spent time with the Holy One, and His Spirit is now working through you. Prayer is not a magic formula. It's not a guarantee that nothing will go wrong, but it is the place where your soul remembers who is ultimately in control. It is where you stop trying to figure everything out and start trusting the one who already has. It's the space where you trade anxiety for peace, control for surrender, and fear for faith. Sometimes the answers don't come right away. Sometimes the situation doesn't change as fast as you hoped. But prayer is less about changing circumstances and more about changing you in the middle of them. It's where God reminds you, I am with you. I will not leave you. I will not fail you. And I will carry you, yes, even today. This is why we pray first. Not because it makes us feel better for a moment, but because it prepares us. It aligns us with heaven. It shapes how we see, how we walk, how we speak. It opens our hearts to divine interruptions and God-appointed opportunities. You may think you're simply starting your day, but in prayer, you're actually stepping into alignment with eternal purpose. So let this be your rhythm, not once in a while, not just on difficult days, but always. Let prayer be the way you open your eyes. Let it be the breath you take before the world takes your attention. Let it be the conversation that never ends, because you walk through your day with a heart that remains open to God's whisper. If today has already begun, it's not too late. Pause now, even if just for a moment. Close your eyes, take a breath, invite Him in again. And if you haven't started yet, then start here, right now. This moment is holy because He is in it. Let this be your reminder. You are not made to carry this day alone. The God who holds the universe also holds you. And when you begin with Him, you are never walking into your day unprepared. You are walking into it equipped with grace, with strength, with peace that makes no sense to the world, but is undeniably real. So, as the day unfolds slowly or swiftly, as plans shift, as interruptions come, as challenges appear, remember who you began with. Return to that space if you feel overwhelmed. Breathe, whisper, listen, and let your heart settle into the truth that He is still with you. And if this message spoke to you, if something within your heart stirred, if you felt God's presence or peace even for a moment, don't let it end here. Carry it with you, and consider sharing this message with someone else who may be rushing through life, forgetting that they, too, were never meant to do this alone. Let your life become the prayer that continues even after the words stop. And may your mornings always begin where strength is found first, in the quiet presence of the one who walks every step with you.